Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, what a roller coaster this NFL offseason has been, especially when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers and their quarterback situation. Everyone's been talking about the draft, about who they could pick, about what might happen next, and how it all could reshape their future. And at the center of this whirlwind, there's a name that's been floating around quite a bit: Shedeur Sanders. Yes, that's right, Deion Sanders' son, the quarterback who's been making headlines at Colorado, has been the subject of intense speculation, rumors, and analysis. And interestingly enough, the Steelers had a real shot at him, a chance that many thought they'd take, but in the end, they didn't go that route. Instead, they drafted Will Howard, a move that's left many fans scratching their heads, especially considering what Sanders could have brought to the table. You see, before the draft, whispers suggested that the Steelers were seriously interested in Shedeur Sanders. They had him on their radar, possibly even envisioning him as a future star, a potential long-term solution at quarterback. But things didn't go as planned. Instead of making a bold move to secure Sanders, they picked Will Howard, a decision that raised questions about their long-term strategy. Now Howard doesn't exactly look like a franchise quarterback in the making. He's more of a developmental guy, a backup at best, and with Aaron Rodgers aging, the Steelers find themselves in a tricky spot. Rodgers, as we all know, is a legend, but he's also not getting any younger. The question is, why did they opt for Howard over Sanders? Was it a matter of trust, or perhaps something else? Many analysts and insiders have pointed out that the Steelers' choice might stem from a mix of factors. One of the most talked about reasons involves the end-of-season dynamics and some internal debates within the organization, especially around the Russell Wilson situation. Albert Breer, a well-respected NFL insider, shed some light on this, suggesting that the Steelers' decision was influenced by last season's endgame scenarios and the way they viewed their quarterback situation. According to Breer, the team's leadership, including coach Mike Tomlin, was somewhat hesitant to push the button again on a young quarterback after what happened with Russell Wilson last year. It's no secret that Wilson's struggles and the way his team handled it left a mark, and perhaps that made the Steelers cautious about drafting another young quarterback they'd have to develop from scratch. Adding more layers to this story is the fact that Tomlin was reportedly high on Shedeur Sanders going into the draft. There's no denying that Sanders has shown immense talent, poise, and leadership on the field. But as Breer points out, Tomlin was perhaps reluctant to revisit that quarterback situation so soon, especially after the Wilson experience. That hesitation, combined with some internal dynamics and strategic considerations, might explain why they chose Will Howard instead. It's a decision that's now left many fans wondering, did they miss out on a potential franchise quarterback? Could Sanders have been the answer to their prayers? And now, with Sanders heading to the Cleveland Browns after being drafted in the 5th round, the AFC North just got a little more interesting. Now, let's talk about the implications of all this. Sanders, despite being a 5th-round pick, is a talented quarterback with a lot of upside. His father, Deion Sanders, has always been a big personality, a football legend, and a charismatic figure. But apparently, that was part of the hesitation for the Steelers. According to Ray Fittipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, many in the organization, and perhaps some decision-makers, didn't want to deal with Deion Sanders' reputation and the potential media circus that could come with drafting his son. There's a perception that some teams worry about the distractions, about the extra attention that Sanders might bring, and that maybe the Steelers weren't ready to handle that kind of spotlight. It's a fascinating dynamic because Sanders, talented as he is, could have been an asset. He's shown flashes of brilliance, and at Colorado, he demonstrated he can handle a high-pressure environment. But the NFL is a different beast. The transition from college to pro is tough, especially for a quarterback. But what's really interesting is how this whole saga might play out in the AFC North. The Steelers, known for their strong defense, gritty style of play, and that incredible culture of resilience, are now facing a division that's getting more competitive by the year. The Cincinnati Bengals are still strong with Joe Burrow and his weapons. The Baltimore Ravens are always a threat with their innovative offense and solid defense. And now, with Sanders potentially lining up against the Steelers this season, the rivalry just got a lot more spicy. And let's not forget, there's a real chance that Sanders could see some action this year if things go well for him in Cleveland. The Browns, who also made some bold moves this offseason, are looking to get back to the playoffs and beyond. Sanders, with his arm talent and ability to make plays, might just be the wild card that changes everything. For Steelers fans, it's a bittersweet feeling. On one hand, you might be thinking, what if they had taken Sanders? What if they had invested in that potential? But on the other, you have to respect the decision, the strategy, and the fact that Will Howard now has a chance to develop and maybe surprise us all. This entire story is a testament to how unpredictable the NFL offseason can be. It's about strategic decisions, internal debates, perceptions, and sometimes just luck. The Steelers have a history of trusting their veteran leadership, especially with a quarterback like Rodgers, who's still capable of winning games and mentoring young players. But the landscape is shifting. Young quarterbacks like Sanders are coming into the league with a lot of hype, and teams are trying to get ahead of the curve. For Pittsburgh, the question now is how they will respond to this shift, how they'll address their quarterback position in the coming seasons, and whether Will Howard can evolve into a reliable starter or if they might make a move down the line. Meanwhile, Sanders' journey in Cleveland is just beginning, and fans will be watching closely. If he hits his stride, if he can learn from the veteran experience around him, he might become a major threat in the AFC North sooner than we think. And the Steelers, always known for their resilience and ability to adapt, will have to find their answer at quarterback, whether it's Howard, a future draft pick, or perhaps even a trade that shakes things up again. The NFL is a game of inches, of decisions, of moments that define careers and seasons. And right now, the AFC North is more competitive than ever, with new storylines emerging every week. So Steelers fans, you better keep your eyes peeled. Because this season, more than ever, every game counts. Every decision, every throw, and every strategic move could be the one that determines whether you're celebrating another Super Bowl appearance or watching your division rival rise to new heights. This is what makes the NFL so exciting, so unpredictable, and so full of passion. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Whether Sanders ends up making an impact in Cleveland or not, his story is just getting started and it's going to be fascinating to watch. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole saga? Do you think the team missed out on a future star? Are you happy with the decision to go with Will Howard, or do you wish they had taken a different route? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters, not only to us but to the entire Steelers nation. This is a story that's still unfolding, and I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insider info. So stay tuned, keep the faith, and let's keep that Steelers passion alive. Because at the end of the day, it's all about our team, our pride, and our shared love for football. Thanks for being with me today, and until next time, let's go Steelers.